Egyptian side Pyramids FC will be aiming to lift their first ever CAF Champions League trophy when they host the 2016 champions Mamelodi Sundowns in the second leg of the final. That's happening at the Cairo's Air Defence Stadium this evening. The Emirati-owned club earned a crucial 1-1 draw in last week's first leg at Loftus Versfeld Stadium in Pretoria, giving them the edge on away goals. To talk about tonight's game, we've roped in former Al Ahly assistant coach Cavin Johnson, who was part of the winning Al Ahly team in 2020. Good afternoon, Cavin, and welcome to SA Today.
Good evening to all your listeners, and thank you for having me. And yes, I think the game you're about to talk about is very, very important for South Africa.
You would have come across Pyramids a few times in your time out in Egypt. They won their first big title last season when they won the Egypt Cup under coach Krunoslav Jurcic, and they finally seem to have found their winning formula. Have they rather found their winning formula to match their heavy investment?
Look, I think when we were in Egypt, they were a fairly new team. I think they were 3 or 4 years old, and he invested a lot of money in the team. But in saying that, Sundowns has invested a lot over the last 10, 15 years, Sundowns. And where Sundowns are now, and I was at the game last week watching the game. And yes, Pyramids are a good team. They fight. They're going to either be a close team today or they will come at Sundowns to score the next goal. But I think Sundowns have been preparing themselves for this particular game. And yes, last week when they conceded the goal in the late end of the match, I don't think for lack of concentration. I think it was just a mistake at the wrong time. And these are the moments in football that you got to try and avoid that happening, either in the end of the first half, the beginning of the second half, or like it happened to Sundowns at the end of the second half. So I do believe that Sundowns have got the quality, but I do believe they have to go out there and they have to show the quality they have, because all their trips to Egypt have always been positive, especially against Al Ahly. And they haven't ended up in the final of the Champions League for nothing. They are not preparing themselves to go to the Club World Cup next year for nothing. They are not African champions. You know, we had that AFL league that Rulani won. They didn't win that league for nothing. So Sundowns have got the pedigree. The problem is Pyramids probably have a little bit more heart, because when I watched the game last week, their coach is absolutely crazy on the bench with his technical team. They pushed that team right up until the 97th minute. So Sundowns have to go to Egypt today and really be on their toes and really be at their best. And hopefully what I saw happening in the game last week, the South American players that Sundowns have in their team are a little bit more accepted to being kicked, because tonight they will definitely be a physical battle against Ribeiro. There will definitely be a physical battle against Salez. And if they are able to ride those challenges or accept them as part of the game and not throw their hands or their toys out of the cot, then they will definitely come out of this encounter today. Sundowns put another star on their shirt for sure.
I'm going to go into tactics a little bit later, but I want to talk about that second star and what it would mean for Sundowns. Because, I mean, they've won the Betway Premiership now for an 8th successive season, but it seems like Al Ahly that their main priority is that Champions League title. What would it mean for Sundowns, if you could put it into context for us?
It means the world for South African football. It means that we are doing something right, that the management at Mamelodi Sundowns is getting it right to play continental football, because this is a space where we need to play in all the time, because this is a space that allows your players to be seen by European clubs, allows your players to be seen by other African clubs, you know, the bigger African clubs, and it allows more movement of South African talent around the world. And that is what we need to understand, is that when we do that, we can allow our players to grow into the next stage of the world, and we can then start attracting better players or a lot better foreign players who can come onto South African shores and display. And that is what it means. And if you ask Ali, I mean, I was there when they won the 10th Champions League, the 10th star. Sundowns is going for 2, so we still got a long way to go in order to catch up with the team of the century, which is Ali.
Now, Kevin, Sundowns plainly have to score if they want to stand a chance of returning home with that trophy, and to neutralise that away goal that Pyramids ended up scoring as well. What changes would you like Coach Miguel Cardoso to make from that match that was played in Pretoria last week in order to win tonight?
For me, there's not many changes, but the one thing I do think that if he's fit and his head is, and I don't think his head needs to be right, but if he's fit and his strength is there, then you've got to put Tembazwane on the pitch. You got to put the captain on the pitch. He knows how to lead that team from the front. Yes, Ronon has been a very good captain over the season, but now that Tembazwane is back and is ready to play, I think Cardoso has to start him, but not bring him on. Start him and maybe take him off, because he knows how to make Sundowns tick in the pitch. You know, as a coach, sometimes we are not allowed in the pitch. We are allowed on the bench, and we shout, we talk, we whatever. And but in the pitch, you got to have the personality. You got to have the coaches. I mean, typical example is yesterday when you look at the celebrations after the game that Luis Enrico gives his players. Then you can see those coaches in the pitch. They want to win that Champions League. So today, I say Tembazwane has to start the game.
Coach Cavin Johnson, thank you very much for joining us on SA Today, and thank you very much for your insights as well.